Students who pass the exam or get rank, they have a certain strategy in the exam room when they are attempting the paper and between two exams in the preparation leave. I'm going to share it in this video. Make sure you watch this video till the end. I am Yogita Harjani. I'm a CA and a CS along with 2 All India ranks. Let's start off. First, I know that you just have the exam and I know that you're nervous, you're not sure or confident about your preparation, you feel like you're forgetting things. The key factor to remember here is that you have been preparing and studying for so long. Everything that you have studied, it is there in your mind and you will not forget it. In the exam, when you look at the question, if you're relaxed and calm, then looking at the question will give you some idea on how to start the question. Just start the question. You do a little bit of what you know and you'll get the next step and then the next step and the next step, right? In the exam hall, time management is extremely important. You have got 100-mark paper and in total you have got 3 hours to complete the paper. That's 180 minutes. So roughly we can say every mark is 1.5 minutes. We're keeping 30 minutes as buffer. It will get adjusted overall. So if you're attempting a 4-mark question, multiply 4 marks with 1.5. That means you have to attempt this question in 6 minutes. 1 or 2 minutes here and there is okay. So from the very beginning, it's important that you attempt the paper very fast. Usually students in the beginning, they will be writing very slow, nicely, good presentation. Then by the end of the paper, they have lost a lot of time. So they are rushing and scribbling through the paper. Don't do that. Every question has got 3 to 4 parts, A, B, C, D. All these parts you have to write together in the exam in a paper. But let's say you start with part A. Part A, you've solved it. Now part B, you don't know. So please don't waste any time thinking about part B. If immediately when you look at a question and you realize that you don't know the solution or you will have to think a lot about the solution, it's something you have not studied, please don't waste any time. Immediately drop that question. It will save you so much time, trust me, and it will save you so much confidence. Drop that question right away. Leave 3-4 pages there in the paper. Mark it in your question paper. Come back to it at the end of the paper if you have time. Just go to the next question right now. Read the next question. If you know the solution, as much as you know the solution, write the solution. Okay, it's not necessary that you run for 100% accuracy in every question. What is most important, the mindset that you should be having in the exam hall is, I have to bag as much marks as possible in the limited time that is available. Okay, so if let's say you've allotted 6-7 minutes for a question, within 6-7 minutes, whatever you know, formulas, performas, whatever calculations you know, just do it. First of all, we have to cover the whole paper and show off whatever we know. First, you should solve the paper that is entirely in your comfort zone. At least 70% of the paper will be roughly in your comfort zone. Solve it. Now, in the exam hall, what happens is, out of that 100-mark portion, roughly 20% you can expect the questions will be difficult. Okay, so in law, they might ask penalty. Now, penalty is something which a lot of students don't do because there are so many penalties. Similarly, other topics are there which we generally don't touch because they're too difficult or they're too out of the box. Sometimes 10 to 20-mark portion is going to come from those topics which is going to be difficult. Now, here, mental stress management is extremely important. Understand this is going to happen and understand that you don't have to waste time on those questions early. Leave those questions for the end. Okay, and first of all, the remaining 80% portion that you are comfortable with, solve that. Now, in practical subjects, take it accounts, SFM, these papers are usually very lengthy because they have a lot of practical which require time. Attempting 100% paper is a little difficult. Time constraints are there. So in these papers, please make sure you do attempt the theory questions. Okay, theory is very underrated in practical papers. You attempt theory, you will get half marks at least in theory papers. If it's a 4-mark question, you'll get at least 2 to 3 marks. Theory is easy. You just need to be good in presentation of theory questions. Practical questions take you a lot of time versus this theory will be done very fast. You will be able to attempt more paper overall in the 3 hours if you attempt theory and practical papers. Before the exam, you do get 15 minutes to read the question paper. What should you do in these 15 minutes? Okay, let's talk about this. So see, in the 15 minutes, you will get descriptive paper. You will not get MCQs in the first 15 minutes. Usually, after the bell rings, you get the MCQ paper. Okay, so in the first 15 minutes, you will only have the 70-mark descriptive paper. So what you do is, please don't touch the compulsory question first. Compulsory question is usually difficult, it has a lot of parts, and you anyways have to do it, so please don't touch it, I believe. First, see the remaining questions, see the last line of the remaining questions, just to identify which question you want to attempt first and second. Pick those questions which are in your comfort zone. Always comfort zone questions first. You know which chapters you're strong in, you know which concepts you're good at, so select one or two questions. Okay, that will happen in the first 5 minutes. You still have 10 minutes left in the first 15 minutes. Now in those 10 minutes, start solving the question. Start reading the details of the question, start underlining the key things. On the side, write some notes as you require, and frame the answer in your mind before the bell rings. As soon as the bell rings, you should be ready to go with the answer. Start writing. In the first 20 minutes, 25 minutes, you should be done with first one question at least, all the parts of one question at least. Then select the next question, whichever is in your comfort zone. And as soon as a question is outside of your comfort zone, don't waste too much time in it. 2 minutes, think about it. If you can come up with the answer, at least you can start the answer. It's okay, go about it. If you think it's going to take you time to think, drop that answer, leave pages, come back later, mark it in your question paper. When will you take up the MCQ then? Okay, so once you've started with your descriptive paper, maybe after a couple of questions, after attempting a couple of theory questions, descriptive questions, then you can take up the MCQs. MCQ is 30 marks, so into 1.5, that means you've got approximately 45 minutes to complete your MCQ paper. Okay, so make sure you follow the timelines. So like I said, approx 20% of the question paper is going to be difficult out of the box. Okay, but 40% of the paper is going to be medium and 30% is actually going to be easy. So our job is to first of all focus on that 30% and 40%, which is easy and medium category. Then that last 20-30%, which is difficult, you have to somehow just attempt it. And most importantly, don't panic when you see these questions. Most of the students, they will see these questions. Usually, in the compulsory question itself, these stress questions are there. So that, initially itself, the student gets panic, he loses his confidence and he is not able to reach the end of the paper. So try to do the compulsory question later. And don't panic when you see any difficult question. In the exam hall, trust me, it's really, your preparation matters 60%, but 40% what matters is your state of mind. If you are relaxed, calm, unattached, your job is just, you have studied nicely at home, revised nicely, and then you come in the exam hall. If you are practical, relaxed, your job is just to finish 100% paper. Try to finish 100% paper. If you can finish even 90% paper decently, that's a very good exam given. Even if you can attempt maybe 80% paper nicely, that's still something you can pass with.